Well, who's this helpful soul you've managed to find? A friend from home? Maybe the Avowed who helped you in Candlekeep?
That's the one.
Who was that, by the way? Any chance I'd know their name?
It was Archmage Thesserai, Sage of Magic in Candlekeep.
Wait, shit.
Yeah, maybe I should have mentioned that when I was explaining everything after I first got here.
And you could just contact him whenever you like?
Well, not really. He made it pretty clear that this was a limited privilege.
Still, he would even... But I... just talk to him already.
Sage Thesserai? This is Katra, the one with the dragon issue.
I hope that you aren't using this stone just to ask for gardening advice or to tell me about a nice dog you saw.
Well, if by dog you mean a dragon that is having trouble getting back into his own body, then I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you.
Oh, now that's my kind of dog. Why am I still using this metaphor? Never mind.
To make this as brief as possible, we found the Rod of Alignment and were able to put Vair back into his body for a little while. But there was a complication, and his soul had to come back into me. However, we learned that there's a significantly larger problem on the way. Apparently, Demogorgon has found a way to enter our world and is about to tear open a portal from the abyss.
The Demogorgon? The Demogorgon, as in the sibilant beast, as in the two-headed monstrosity that could single-handedly end any given city if he sneezed at the wrong time?
Yeah, that's the one.
You're joking.
No, not this time.
Oh. That isn't exactly promising news. Before I start preparing an escape portal to literally any other plane of existence where he is not, what do you need from me?
Well, we were hoping that you might know how to beat him, or at least be able to find out.
Well, the obvious answer is to find a holy relic of commensurate power and kill him with it. However, those are few, far between, hidden and often unbelievably difficult to get to. It could take months just to find one powerful enough, and then there is every chance that should you manage to claim it, whatever god blessed the relic in the first place will decide to be a jerk and withdraw their power from it just because they don't like how you butter your toast or something else equally arbitrary.
We might not have that kind of time in the first place. Do you have any other ideas?
Aside from running away, make a new one.
Pardon?
Make a new sacred weapon, or at least something that can emulate his sacred weapon's properties. That could take just as much time, though, so you would need master craftsmen and powerful enchanters to help you.
Well, how good are the dwarven smiths of Mithril Hall?
Some of the best in the world. If anything, the mithril they mine there would be a very valuable ingredient for the weapon. That is, if we could get any. Why?
I think you two should talk. I'm probably just going to slow things down.
Me? Hello, Sage Thesserai of Candlekeep? I am Fengir Gearden, wizard in charge of magical defenses and research in Mithril Hall. Katra handed the stone to me. Well, first, I wanted to say that I am an ardent supporter of the Avowed and would give my beard to visit Candlekeep's libraries, but perhaps we should, for now, focus on the approaching Demon Lord. Right. I eagerly await your message. He wants to talk to you again.
You two debated for ages. Hope that was worthwhile.
It was. I'm not much of a craftsman myself, so Fengir's input is important. Still, even once I send the weapon schematics and inscriptions to him, the dwarves can only do so much. They are phenomenal builders and quite capable with magic, but we want the best if we can get it. Have you ever heard of the Moonwood?
No. Should I have?
Maybe. It's near to Mithril Hall, and the elves there are rather skilled spellweavers. Even if they do not know how to create the necessary enchantment, they will know someone who can.
I'll leave to find them right away.
Good, but one last thing. Even with this item, I'm sorry to say that you're rather small, pathetic, and squishy against something like Demogorgon. Did you find that storm giant I directed you to? What happened to them?
They had the rod like you said they would. And then that they would keep an eye on me or something. Said they thought I'd be in the middle of important things.
Well, you do seem to stick your nose where it doesn't belong, so that's apt. Tell me her name so that I can contact her. You will want some capable allies to join you in this fight. People or things that can hold their own against something strong enough to uproot trees and won't get in your way like the average soldier.
Her name is Nalkra, but she doesn't care about small folk problems.
Well, maybe Nalkra will be willing to lend a hand in saving the world as we know it. Now, excuse me, there is still work to do.
So apparently, we could theoretically just kill Demogorgon if we were strong enough, which we're not, and send him back to the Abyss that way. Our best option now is to use a holy weapon.
I could have told you that.
No one asked you! I'll be getting further instructions and specific schematics for how to make our own holy weapons soon. Once they're here, we have our work cut out for us.
Understood. Find the best weaponsmiths and crafters that we have for this project. I am not about to spare expense or take chances when we are trying to kill the next best thing to a deity. Good. That took longer than I would have liked, but better than finding out later that our best defense against Demogorgon is flawed and about as useful as a pickaxe without a handle. Now, take this. This letter of introduction was signed and sealed by our king. Seek Moonvines, a settlement in the Moonwood, and give this to the elves in charge. It explains the situation and should secure you an enchanter. Now that the cult is no longer a threat, Mithril Hall's gates are opening again. You can get to the Moonwood by going alongside the mountain until you come to a ravine. The trees you'll see on the bridge's far side are your destination. Good luck, and be quick.
The Underdark's deep gloom made Mithril Hall's lighted caverns seem bright as day.
Need a lift?
Finally stepping out into the sunshine again
Need a
after
lift?
so long, the world is blinding. You squeeze your eyes shut, waiting for them to adjust, as you listen to the breeze drift over the mountain and feel it brush against you, enjoying the first fresh live air you have felt in what feels like years. When you can finally open your eyes again, the view down into the plains and the green forest makes you smile, and you're ready to swear never to go underground again as the surface world beckons.
I have not been among elves in nearly a century. Dragons and elves have much to learn from each other and share great respect, but there has always been a tension between us, ever since the war that saw the elves overthrow dragonkind's rule.
Wasn't that war over 1,000 years ago?
Some wounds run too deep. They will always remember what my kind did to them before the fighting, and my kind will remember their actions in the war. These are pains that each of our children inherit, and we can only hope that the hurt fades just a little bit more with each generation.
That's relatable. Anyhow, where do you think their leader is?
They might not have a set leader, but I would guess that whoever is at the center of all things and looks the busiest is a good bet. Or you could always just ask around.
A human? I must say that it has been some time since one of your kind ventured into our part of the forest. My name is Naivara, guardian of Moonvines. I have come from Mithril Hall with an urgent message and a letter from the king. The king himself? That seems excessive. What is this message?
Naivara's gentle expression turns stern as she reads. She begins examining the letter itself, the seal, the parchment it is on. When she is done, she looks at you with none of the levity that she greeted you with and hands the letter back.
We have had some strange creatures roaming the woods. Watch my body. I must step away for a moment. Ah! That was not pleasant. Nor exactly expected. All right then. Well, in that case, we have a problem on our hands aside from Demogorgon. You need a weapon powerful enough to harm a demon prince and seal him back in the abyss. Unfortunately, we simply lack the capabilities to make anything like that. even with the supposedly marvelous weapon you carry. Well, what are we supposed to do then? While both of those are decent backup options, I may know a way to gain the power needed for such an enchantment.
Why can this never be simple?
There is a temple deeper in these woods, one dedicated to the moon deity Selyun. I have a nasty suspicion there's a nasty catch to this. Indeed, for the temple is guarded by a sphinx. She is generally good-natured and does enjoy the few visitors she gets. However, she also has a tendency to, well, she is a guardian as well as a judge, and if someone seeks the temple's power and she deems them unworthy, she tends to eat them. That's not entirely encouraging, but I don't have much of a choice here. Good luck.
What excellent news. Not only is making the weapon we need to save Faerun more complicated than expected, we have to face a temperamental monster and may decide to kill you regardless of whether you pass her tests. Wonderful.
Just be glad that the two of us can puzzle out her trials together. I hope you're good at riddles, Vair.
I am not.
While I have you here, would you be willing to investigate something for me? I will, of course, pay you for your services. What do you need investigated? The elves of Moonvines have reported seeing strangers in purple robes traveling through the woods, but avoiding other people. We have also noticed that the old abandoned fortress of Methagrist now has lights shining through its windows at night. Hopefully this is nothing to be alarmed about, but it would ease our minds if you could determine what is happening there. I can do that. I'll be back when I know more. Thank you. Be safe.
The elves claim that this part of the forest touches the Feywild, allowing some of that otherworld strange magic to seep into our own. No one can say whether the trees come from the Feywild, or whether the Feywild's influence transformed them. But either way, these crystalline trees grow like any other, and produce fruit that the locals consider sacred.
These robes look familiar. I cannot place them, but they do not inspire any sense of comfort, to be sure.
Oh, really? The robes are what made you feel uncomfortable? Not the people who are trying to kill us?
Well, yes, that too.